Hi everyone, it's Cindy, and I am back in the studio today working on a series of collages. They are inspired by some vintage song sheets that I received from a good friend here on YouTube, Tarnished Treasures. I will put the name here in case you didn't make that out. You'll have to check her out. She has a wonderful channel. She is an artist. She's an art teacher, as a matter of fact. So she has a lot of wonderful things art related, but that's not the main focus of her channel. She also does vintage thrifting, home decor. It's kind of an all-purpose channel. So you'll want to check her out. But anyway, she very thoughtfully gifted me some collage materials a while back. And of course, I wasn't really creating any art at the time, so I kind of set them aside, but I did finally get around to working with them, and I'm really excited, and I'm going to kind of show you the process as I get started on these items today. So let me show you what I've been doing. I've been doing these little backgrounds. I started out with some Echo printed papers that I made a few years ago, and I have gone through here, and I'm going to actually show you the process in a second. And I have added some more collage elements on there to make these backgrounds. Here's this one. And these were all inspired by the beautiful sheet music that was in the collage stuff that Tarnished Treasures gave me. This is just one sheet. I'm actually not using this sheet, but that's what inspired me. So what I'm going to do with you now is I'm going to take you through the process with this particular sheet. Look at how wonderful that is. I did scan all of these papers before I started using them just because they're so amazing, and I want to be able to use them again in the future. All right, so you guys probably saw this underneath my mat. I didn't see it. I'm going to be using this element that came off of one of those song sheets. And I just thought that this was going to go really nicely here, like as if this were the moon. So I used this stencil that I have to stencil in that shape there in the corner. But from there, I'm going to take you through and we're going to do the rest of this together. So let me sit down. All right, so the next thing that I did was I just stenciled these little shapes all over, using Adirondack. And I think that my ink pad is not that juicy, and I kind of like that because it's allowing me to get a really muted color on here. And I like that to go along with the organic feel of the rest of this paper. So I've just been putting little circles here and there, kind of random, just eyeing them. I'm just making a background. Some of them you can see, some of them you can't see, and that's okay. And once I cover these with my collage image from the song sheet, you may not even see some of them, but again, that is quite all right. I'm perfectly happy with that. It's a process, and at different stages along the process I may or may not like what I'm seeing, and that's okay too, as it always changes. I'm not sure how many of you know, I know on my other channel they know. My other channel is Mimi's Treasure Cottage, but I also taught drawing to kids, school-age children, in an after-school art class, which of course once we had the great pandemic, I was sent home. And I haven't been back since. That was my last day of class was March 12th. But anyway, what I was thinking of when I started to mention that was that that's one of the things I used to always tell my students, because as we were drawing, they would get to a point where they didn't really like what they were seeing. And I would have to tell them, you know, hey, just hang with it for a while because it'll get better. You know, just wait. Just wait. We're only on the first step or whatever. You'll just hang on. So same thing with you and with me and with everybody, you know. Sometimes we don't like what we're seeing. It's not exactly where our vision is taking us or thinks it should go. But in the end, when it's all said and done, these things have a tendency to just work out and turn out exactly the way they're intended to turn out. The drawings and the paintings, the collages, everything have a tendency to become what they're supposed to. They kind of have a mind of their own, in my estimation. I don't know how. This whole filming situation here in my studio is new to me, so I have no idea, by the way, how much that shaking and whatever is going to affect the video. So I apologize in advance. I just don't know how it's going to work out. But we'll see. All right, so I'm going to take that from there. Check my placement. Yeah, you guys can still see it pretty good. Okay. I am going to add some of this stencil. I can't tell you who makes this stencil. I don't know. It's a long time ago come out of its packaging. So, but right now I'm going to use this vintage sepia with one of these things to stencil on just some random text here and there just to add. I like to work in odd numbers, so there's 3 there. I'm not sure if I'm going to add, I feel like, but I'm going to probably edge the page, and I'm going to add another step. I'm going to add that Lumiere's to it. So I might leave it there because, like I said, I like to work in 3s or 5s. So there we've got that. I'm going to put our little guy there. So I might actually darken the bottom part of this, and I'll bring back out my pitch black. And I was using something before, not that you can even see it, but just because. Don't know what that banging was. It's not me. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I don't like that. See, that's what happens. We're gonna just darken that up a little bit. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so I got that. I'm gonna cover this. Right now I'm gonna come in with these little circles, and I'm gonna kind of keep in mind my placement of that. I know I want some up here because I need something going on up there. And I'm gonna use a little palette knife and my Lumiere's. I don't know which way you can see it. I don't know if you can hear, but my office is right next to the clock tower here, and the clock tower chimes every 15 minutes. That's kind of cool. So I've got that up there. Probably want one right about there. Actually, I think I'm going to put it down here. funny here at this studio. My friend who has a studio and a gallery below me stopped up yesterday, and I was telling her, and I know she knows this because she's dealt with this for years, it's kind of odd working here. It's that, and not in a bad way necessarily, because I'm usually very creative when I have to be. But I'm going to put this down here. This is what I'm doing is I'm offloading my paintbrush into a journal page. Anyway, so I come here and I have very limited supplies here at the studio because I'm just bringing stuff as I go. And so working with those limited supplies is kind of, it's interesting, but it's also fun. Like I said, I'm actually very creative when I'm given limited supplies. I don't tend to spend all my time thinking about what I'm going to use when I have very few things to use. All right, so I like that a lot. I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to move it aside, and then I'm going to work on with you one of my other ones to finish up. All right, this one's been drying for a while, so I'm going to go ahead and I am going to glue this one down. I don't know if my microphone is swinging around on you or not. My apologies. Let's see if I can find a better way to hook it up. There we go. All right, I'm going to just use a very simple glue stick to put it on. I go back and forth as to the kind of adhesive that I use. Sometimes I use a glue stick like this. Sometimes I use a gel medium. I'm not a big Mod Podge girl, but occasionally I do use Mod Podge as well. When I used to publish the magazine, and those of you that are new here, I used to publish Altered Arts magazine. And when I would publish Altered Arts magazine, I would go to conventions around the country, and I would teach classes, I would demo, and basically I was promoting the supplies that came in the kit that I also did. It was a craft kit club, and I was very limited in what I had with me. So I learned how to do an awful lot with a glue stick for my only adhesive, and you know, just what supplies I had on hand. We're gonna see where I want to put these. I find that this is still my first week at the studio, and I'm finding that I'm trying to do both the artwork, and I'm trying to do the vintage reselling business here. And I'm basically working through lunch. I mean, I'm eating, but working through lunch, and I am spending full days and sometimes getting home really late at night. And it's no wonder I never did anything at home, because it takes forever, is what I've been finding, to get stuff done. But I'm making myself do some form of art every day, because you know what? That's why I came out and got a studio, was so that I could actually do art. So doggone it, I'm going to do art. So I was talking to my friend yesterday, and I was telling her that I'm not, you know, December is the best selling month of the year. And I'm trying not to stress myself out with the idea that I need to get the showroom part of the studio up and running so that I can have people here to buy things from me. Because it's stressful to me. I'm just going to have to kind of hope and pray that in January and onward I have good sales or enough to get me by. So this is what this looks like now. And I'm going to go ahead and I think, I don't know if you saw or not, but I took the vintage sepia as well on my little Ranger thing here. And I am going to go from the outside in. This is something I sometimes forget to do. I think it lends a better result when you do that. I don't know what they're banging on down there. I don't even know if you can hear that, but somebody outside on the street is banging on something. So this is very subtle, and this whole piece is actually very subtle, and I think I'm going to leave it that way. I have a tendency to always mark my papers with a black ink outline, not outline, like a frame. And I'm really liking the muted tones to this. You notice that it's not working so well down here to pull the ink up from the bottom. It's getting caught on the edge. What are they doing? So, but I think I may go around it to try to give a better delineation. Oh yeah. But I like the brown as opposed to bringing in a black. Very nice. So let me know in the comments what you think. And I hope you enjoyed the little process of seeing this from well, you got to see the background as I was making it up for the other one, but you got to see me finish this one. So let me know what you think. And as always, it was fun to be with you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.